right, so we're going to do the final session right now, and we're going to get started talking about, we're kind of really trying to cut through the AI noise. So we've had splattering of AI conversations all day today, and we're going to wrap it up with one that's kind of very focused on AI. And just to talk a little bit about who we are. So you already know I'm Kim Blascoe. I am the Senior Director of CAS Professional Services here at CPA.com. I really work with firms and finance leaders on transformation. And Suma, I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Pleasure meeting all of you. Very happy to be here. Thank you. I lead the technology and AI advisory for the firm as well as our clients. So I would like to hear mostly, I'd like to make it really interactive if possible, because there's a lot of conversation on AI. As Kim takes the stage, I would like to really understand what you would like to hear from me as well. I think that would make it valuable, because there's a lot of conversation. I don't want to bore you with the same repetitive things. I'm steeped in technology, so you can ask me all you want.
So I'm going to share that I mentioned I work at CPA.com. We love slide decks, which is why you're seeing a slide deck, right? Suma, on the other hand, I feel does not like slide decks, so we may very well go off script. So just hang in there with us. So first, we're going to talk about really what's happening in accounting, and specifically in this space that you all are in. So, what are we seeing from the pressures on the finance side of it? Really, investors and PE sponsors, when you think about what historically we saw, monthly financial statements used to be the deliverable that we had in the accounting space. Today, investors and sponsors are looking for weekly and maybe even hourly visibility into cash, margins, KPIs. We didn't even talk about necessarily that stuff probably even 5 years ago, for sure 10 years ago. So they really want to see numbers in between that close cycle. So boards, they're looking not just for outputs anymore, they're actually looking for context, drivers, forward-looking analysis. They're doing the what does this tell us and what should we do about it? And that is very different than the deliverables of variance reports that we have done in the past. And really, third, your team. You're being asked to deliver all of this with leaner headcounts and less sophisticated talent maybe than you had 5 years ago, or specialized talent potentially. So same expectations, a little maybe harder operating environment. And that, I think, is like what we're seeing and what we're trying to solve for. I do want to dive a little bit deeper into the talent side of it, because I think that's the piece that the finance leaders are really maybe struggling with the most. The talent pipeline isn't keeping up. We hear about it all the time. And especially really probably at that controller level, where the PE-backed portfolio companies are really competing for that shrinking competition in experienced candidates. So what does that really mean? Technology is no longer a nice to have, right? It's really how the smaller teams can punch, their weight above where they would be if they were in comparison to larger firms. So if you can't hire the gap, what do? You really have to think through, it's not should we adopt AI anymore? It's really that question settled, right? It's really how fast and where should we start adopting? So Suma, we're going to jump into the pieces that you like to talk about, and we'll see how far off script you go.
Okay, I'm sure all of you are adopting AI within the firms. You're implementing AI working with your clients within your own environments. I will reiterate that we are no more backward looking, right? We are always forward looking, and that is the expectation of every user who's using it. The issue and the difference I'm seeing is not about what AI tool is being used or what is the implementation strategy that someone's taking. Where companies are faltering and having real challenges is two things as I'm seeing it. Culture, which is one of the biggest hurdles, and age, definitely generational differences within the environments, the work environments. That's number one. Number two, change management. When I say change management, you bring in a large language model to start with, just to start using it. How do you really get people to adopt it and use it in the right sense of the way? And then once you start that process, how do you measure ROI? How do you measure cost savings on these little use cases then people start working with? Then how do you then take that proof of concept and really extend it in terms of productivity, and how do you measure productivity? Some of the challenges we are facing, and I'm seeing companies face, is on the latter. How do you measure the ROI? Why is that? If you take the initial, a couple of years ago when large language models started coming into the market, people like Morgan Stanley actually jumped on even developing their own, wanting to develop their own large language models, which would have taken them 10 years or 15 years and millions of dollars in budgets. Then came the time very, very quickly when OpenAI or Anthropic started releasing large language models within the private confines that people could use in the private, it's private cloud. The data, your data is private, and suddenly you're not building your own LLM anymore. You're using it as an extension of the large language model, and you're able to build upon that. Then came agentic workflows, which have been the buzzword lately, which were not that easy to develop just 2 years ago. And now suddenly enterprise ChatGPT or Anthropic have workspace agents, Codex, or Claude Cowork, or Claude Code, and everybody's vibe coding and developing their own agents. Then what's happening in the market? Now, as that's happening, the executive committees or the top management is looking at the competition, and they're saying they're doing this. This consulting firm is saying they're going to come deploy digital agents for us, and they're going to show us ROI within our outsourced COO space or outsourced CFO space within a month. They're going to give us these insights. It's going to give us, liquidation reports, valuation reports within a month. We're going to automate these use cases. Cowork can do that. If anybody has played with Cowork, it's extremely easy to do that, because it has a desktop version that works with your desktop files, and you can play and have fun with it very quickly. And as an end user with very little experience in coding, you can get there. Then, given this is the shift, within 3 to 4 years of time frame, this is how quickly things have moved within the workspace and the technology itself. The reason, yes.
Did you want me to go forward?
Yeah, no, this is good. Thank you. This is great. What I want to bring to the attention, which I'm continuously advocate for as this is happening, and we are facing this within our own firm and with clients, is, okay, hold on. You just cannot think about it that way. You're going to get a firm to help you create agentic workflows. You can use Codex. You can use whatever you want. You can create your own digital workers to do 10,000 things. Number one, how are you going to monitor these agents? Number two, how are you going to make sure they can be scaled? Number three, how can you make sure that the agents that you've developed for you can be reused for him without him having to again change something? Number four, what kind of memory is they running on? Short-term memory, long-term memory. Where is the data, the intellectual capital of the firm residing? Where is it really? How is it making sure that is being continuously fed and being read on by the agents? So the lack of understanding, because of the pace of growth of the agentic workflows and the power of this autonomous output is so powerful that companies often are failing or not wanting to even see the importance of creating what we call a knowledge graph, a decision map, or this layer, the data ontology, that's extremely critical for every firm to think about. And this is where I think it's very important for us to go from a pilot/demo to a production-ready system. You can easily create a pilot, you can take a use case of a variance report, like you mentioned, and quickly create an agent that pulls the right data together. Right now, within weeks, you can get something up and ready. How do you scale it? How do you make sure that it is actually pulling the accurate data? And once it's autonomous and going amok, how do you monitor it? Where do you add the human in the loop? And if firms fail to look at it at the early stage, and they decide, okay, we're going to take care of it later. We want this iterative shifts. We want the speed. We want to catch up with what they're doing. I think we're going to struggle. Companies are going to struggle. I think we can. Yeah, I need my glasses though.
Print is getting smaller.
So I think this kind of comes back to, of course, the basic things that companies are asking for within our own firm, and as we are experiencing with clients, they're asking the demands on what people want in terms of data. Is very critical. In the conversations prior, I heard about platform versus integration, which comes first. So, I mean, platform, as from my understanding of what a platform is, I'll talk about it from a technology standpoint, not necessarily from a tooling standpoint. From a technology standpoint, a platform could be the base layer, the data itself, and how good it is for consumption. Number two, the orchestration frameworks that are being used to give you the output and create the technology that you need for the right output. And number three, the agentic frameworks, if you're creating agentic workflows to produce this output, and also the governance structures and the security controls around it. If you want to call that the framework, number one, I do believe that frameworks are, if you cannot have that, then you cannot have a scalable, reusable system. So that's extremely critical and given. But also, if you want enterprise value in terms of ROI and what you can achieve, that really means nothing if you don't have the integrations. The integrations with an ERP or a CRM or a trading platform, depending on whatever your firm is doing, you need the integrations. So in terms of the actual output of an AI-enabled workflow to be called successful, I believe is the importance of having a continuous data, but having it in a way that the machine understands and in a clean way. And I will take that back to the importance of defining what there are many ways people define data ontology, but I will give an example of how to think about it. Is if you're dealing with a financial statement, if you're dealing with a trial balance or a general ledger, the definition as we are serving a client is, this is the client, this is what they do, this is their fund structure, for example, these are the various things that they look at, this is how it's defined within this particular client. If you have all those definitions built into your firm's knowledge layer or knowledge graph or architecture, that is going to be what is feeding the memory of the agent. If you do not define that, if you let the agent, it's a prompt-driven agents are what's popular these days, and not feed on a defined memory that is owned by the firm, that is when you're going to have problems, because you will start having errors. You could potentially create unscalable agents that eventually could make mistakes or go out of the guardrails, like gap regulations around gap. Where is the agent going to make sure that you're going to adhere by the gap rules as it's supposed to do what it's supposed to do? You need those regulations defined somewhere, and tell the agent that you make sure you don't go behind these rules. You have to follow that. Where are you going to put that? If there's a geographical regulatory constraint, where are you going to put that? So these are all the things that go as a part of what we call a knowledge graph, a decision map, ontology, etc. So as you all are working towards that, and we are driving decisions, I think very important to think of asking these questions. And I'm realizing that in the marketplace, it's important to have these conversations with people as much as possible because there's a gap I'm seeing because of the hype and the noise, like you said, Kim. So from there, you can pull on into, the actual technology itself is getting simplified, and pulling a real-time dashboard or predicting some sort of coming up with any type of predictive analytics is not that difficult these days. It's become very simple. I think it's the data and the governance that needs to be extremely important to think about.
You mentioned connectivity and how important that is.
Yeah. So
I want to dive in a little deeper on this.
Sure. Connectivity between tissues, systems, etc. One of the key things that now LLMs have come up with is, and I'm sure you all have heard of MCP, the Model Context Protocol. What does this really mean? It's a way to connect to your ERP, to QuickBooks Online, to Sage Intacct, to NetSuite, like whatever we want, like a Google Gmail, Outlook, Teams. Like if you want, your data is critical. Where are you going to get all this data from? So one of the things that was slowing everything down before was a lack of proper integration and the ease of integration of these various systems. Now, if you look at Enterprise ChatGPT, even has an MCP built in. Like you can easily go into the MCP button. If you go into Workspace Agents, you can create your own MCP. There is an MCP way to connect to all these different things. Apart from that, if you want to build your own custom MCP layer, which most firms we are building, it doesn't take more than 3 weeks to build an MCP layer. It's that simple. You can connect to QuickBooks, you can connect to, NetSuite, you can connect to everything very easily. Once you have all these plugs in, and you can literally prompt and create agents on a large language model, and also create simple front ends, imagine the power of that. That is really where we are with technology today. So I think that's just, the pace is just shooting up. We just had a call in the morning with OpenAI in terms of questions that people have been asking, that we've been asking them, because on what Claude Code Cowork, the desktop version, can do versus what are the similar features in parallel that OpenAI is able to give that gives the end user similar capabilities. So I think the tooling aspects of an AI tool, for example, that people are specifically selling in the market for one thing. Like I saw an email today that I got from random marketing, Flux agent, So I'm like thinking, do we really need these? Like, how are these AI companies really going to sustain? They train the model on doing one thing and one thing only. But a month from now, you all will be able to create your own Flux agents within your own environments. So I think that is why I do believe that focusing on the base, the foundational models are going to monopolize the industry because they are taking over the finance agents. For example, they're coming up with reconciliation agents, and it's a part of OpenAI's offering now. Claude is coming up with a whole finance function that has a whole bunch of agents they're launching, that they're coming up with now. So I think that's where we are going, and also keeping abreast that field on what's happening within the foundational models is I think important for all of us, and could be that we don't need 10 different tools to do this. Keep with the foundational models, have a strong team that's kind of keeping abreast of what's happening in the market, and voila, you're off to the races. I really think that's where we're really going in terms of yes.
It all sounds great, but as a finance person, the technology piece is a little bit of a gray area sometimes. So when you say that an MCP is new, and then there's of course a concern also of the privacy of the data because it's not our data, it's client's data to some degree. When you say that it's easy enough to build an MCP within 3 weeks so that we don't have to rely, let's say, on the open concept and on MCPs that are readily available and perhaps not as protected, where does one go about even starting the education on something like that?
There's so much of information out there available. There's simple courses. I mean, I would actually encourage everybody to really take some of these courses online. I go through a couple of websites. I have one professor I follow from MIT called Professor honestly Ramakrishna. He's a PhD. He teaches AI, deep learning, any of those for business professionals. And he has a way to really break down more complex technology problems for business people. 45 minutes, you will learn a lot, like a video. I would recommend that a lot. I also, Coursera has some great courses on them, but there's so much of YouTube, a streaming type of courses that you can look for. Google for anything, they're all there. And it's pretty easy to follow through. Even if you have a large language model that you've adopted, you can directly ask them for webinars and they're giving you education for 45 minutes on how non-technologists can run with this on their own. I hope that's helpful. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to jump forward to this slide. So, we kind of talked about how the real value shows up for finance teams. I think from the finance lens, it's really faster, more reliable monthly closes, deeper portfolio level reporting for the sponsors and the investors, leaner FTE structures without losing control, and then the standardized processes that allow the portfolio companies to compare apples to apples. I know when we made this slide, you're like, I'm not sure these would be my 4 technology lens values, right? Yeah. So give us 4 that you think are, valuable from a technology lens.
The real value show-ups for finance teams from a technology lens. I do believe technology is nothing if it doesn't serve a business purpose, right? I mean, what does technology do? It's nothing. It's really there to help us make our life better. So what I'm seeing is really where we are with artificial intelligence is actually giving the end user the power to do exactly what you're saying. Like, you don't need a Suma anymore. That's where we're really going.
No, we always need a Suma.
It's like you don't. Yeah, it's like we are needing less and less of the technology plumbing the day more and more we go into this area. So in terms of what you quoted there, Kim, the anomaly detection or automatic reconciliation or conversational reporting for non-finance leaders, this is all, I think, at the fingertips of a finance professional and a non-tech professional with the use of this technology. I think that is where technology is really taking us at the moment. Right before I left, my CFO assistant called me and he said they want to, I was told to contact her because she wanted some reports from our Power BI finance reports for the board, reporting to the board. I said, okay, I'll definitely connect with her. Her question to me was not just, I want this information from you. Not at all. Her question to me was, I want to have an MCP connection. I want Claude Desktop on my machine so that I can extract this information from Power BI. She's not asking me for the report. She's asking me for the tool to pull the report herself. And she knew exactly what to do to get to that point. My answer could be 2 things. Like, number 1, we're not really using Claude Desktop. Number 2, we only have MCP currently built into OpenAI. We are still in the process of building our own custom MCP. But my natural, I really want to say to her, you got Cloud Desktop, plug into Power BI, go get what you want, we'll get you the license. I really think that her way of thinking is the way it is going, and it should go. And that's, I think, fantastic. It's a way of adoption. She's thinking about it the right way.
How it works in practice.
There you go.
All right. So do you want to jump in and maybe talk through some of these pieces?
do all of you, is any of this here interesting for all of you? I'm sure you've heard repetitive tasks. We take the repetitive tasks and they're the most easiest, best ROI for use cases. I'm sure everybody already knows that. Like, do we want to go through this slide or?
I've got a question.
Yeah.
As you think about automating through Claude, do you look at that in terms of the creation of the code vibing, whatever you want to call it?
Yeah.
Is that the effort of a software engineer or a functional engineer or a hybrid of both?
Right now, it's still a software engineer function, but I know professionals in my firm who are vibe coding.
Yep.
Yeah, because you can literally talk to it and it'll code for you and you can run it and see how it goes. So if you're so easy where you don't really need to know the syntax, you don't need to know anything to vibe code.
Right.
You just need to tell it what to do, it'll code for you. You just need to give it the final output, it's doing it for you. So right now it's still a software engineer's job because there's some level of plumbing involved on how to run it or how to test it. The non-technologists don't really know how to test against specific use cases or evals or however we want to. User testing is still a little bit technical, but I think soon it's going to become a function of a non-technologist. Yeah, absolutely. Very soon, I think.
Yeah. Cool, thank you.
I have a question. I was wondering if the question of cost has come up.
Oh, yes.
Internally, because that's something that especially when people start going off and building stuff, they can start using a lot of tokens without realizing it.
Absolutely.
And so I'm wondering if that's, and also like your point earlier about the knowledge foundation is critical because these models they're hungry for context, and so they'll just go out and start asking questions.
Correct.
Context. So is that something that you also try to manage internally? We're
trying to manage, absolutely. A very good question. There was an article on FTE or New York Times just 2 days ago on the economics of all this. What does it really mean? Yeah, you don't need 2 developers, but the token price is exceeding the price of these 2 developers, supposedly. Yeah, but then you go talk to Claude, right? And you talk to Anthropic, or you go talk to the people who are actually working with the data science within this whole thing. They are completely focused on reducing the token costs now. That is their next step. So I do believe the token size costs are going to come drastically down. Just like the GPU and the use of memory and how small a chip is going to be, or the whole quantum technology and the speed of data movement, that is one part of the infrastructure that is moving extremely rapidly. Because you see, if you look at the linear progression of how AI has evolved since 1959 in Dartmouth, that's when we human beings had the brilliant idea of actually replicating a human mind in a computer, right? Deep learning was the crack of it. Like, deep learning was where, like, before deep learning, we could all give an input and the machine had to interpret an image, like structured data. As you all know structured data, right? So it could easily interpret structured data and it would come up with an output. What happens if you feed an image? What happens if you feed an audio file or a video file? The interpretation in a way that machine learning a machine could understand an image was in numbers. It's actually in numbers. It reads it in a matrix of 0 to 255, right? Red, blue, green. That's all you'll see in a machine. But once they cracked that, you don't need to interpret anymore. Right? That took them a very long time to take an input and interpret it in a way that the machine could understand. So that was a hiccup that we were dealing with. I think the MIT researchers, or Cornell, I think, they broke it a few years ago, around 10 years ago. That's when the deep learning started quickly understanding unstructured without having to interpret it automatically. That's when the progression of generative AI, everything just started taking a huge, fast-paced progression in development. Now we are at a point where the chips are getting smaller, the tokens cost is going lower, and it's going to come down to data and processing the data speeds and how quickly. That's where we are with I think AI. I think the software engineering, the mathematics of it, the engineers have already cracked most of the hurdles out there. So I think, yes.
I have a question for Kim. On the technology conversation, we try to mirror the people, process, and technology as that being the triangle for a successful organization. So I'm curious, is where do the people and process come into this when we're making these decisions about these different AI tools? Like what are some guidelines for the leaders in the room to think about when considering technology, but also considering the people and their processes as well?
Well, I think that depends on the maturity of the practice, right? So when Suma talks about this stuff, clearly far advanced from what most practices and where most practices are at today. So when you think about, just when I talk to firms about how they're using AI in their practices and where their teams are with that, a lot of it is still very, very basic that for the uses that are happening inside of practices. I think that you're on obviously the very high end of technology, which makes what you're doing and what you guys are building very different, and maybe you're working with different people in respect to that. But on the practice side of the house, people are still trying to figure out what they're allowed to do, what they should be doing. How does that look inside of their practice, and building it into workflows is probably where we're at right now, right? How are we moving some of this AI stuff into the workflows that we're doing? And a lot of the conversations we're having is, with the vendors that they're already using, they're just trying to figure out how to use the AI capabilities that are in the vendor platforms that they're using today. And most firms, smaller to mid-sized firms, are not building things on top of that at this point in time. So I think there's a very vast world of where AI is being used inside of the accounting space, and for most, I would say they're on that more basic level. But certainly from an innovation perspective, the space that Suma plays in is very different, I think, than most practices are today.
Kim, this highlights what we said at the beginning of today. Just that it's moving very, very, very fast, and the value of partnering if you're a mid-sized company with a firm, with a Consero, just to keep up. Because you're right, the firms, if we look at the firm market, I would even think PKF or Davies, if you look at your CAS practice, and not everyone's at their different levels. So the standardization, PKF Carter Davies is a $500 million plus firm, top 25 from the United States, and would you comment on where you think you are with what you're sharing here with people like I know Jennifer Chulu just started, but if you look at your outsourced CAS practice, where are they on getting this implemented? And are you doing this more in your CFO advisory area or in your outsourced accounting? So
we are in the process. This is their mandate. Right. They want to completely AI enable all the outsourced CFO work. So that is one of the big mandates now. The outsourced CFO. Outsourced CFO type of work. So like outsourced accounting, bookkeeping. Right. So similar to I think what most companies are embarking on, because now the plumbing is also easy to do. Why not? Is how they're thinking about it. So yeah,
how
absolutely.
How do you implement that in your practice today?
Today?
Yeah.
Today, he's right. It's a very fragmented practice because we do outsourced bookkeeping can mean anything. Outsourced CFO services can mean different things for different sectors. How we're doing it is very partner driven within our own firm. So I have certain clients who are used to certain ways of doing things. They could be scanning checks. They could be getting it in a FedEx. They could be, a part of them want to enter. They don't do they do soft close and they don't want to do the close till much later. It's a cash-based business. How are you going to handle that? So we are seeing very, 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 very different clients because our firm deals with mostly small to mid-sized clients. We have a lot of mid-sized to smaller sized clients, and they're kind of the younger, they're not very mature in their technology. So we don't have a standardized flow. So we take all of this, and so to actually take on a very good question, Jesse. I say this because the technology can implement all of this and say, here, right? That's not going to cut it. They're not going to use it. But the goal is it going to be possible to standardize these 50 different sectors and clients who are used to doing business a certain way? So I think a lot of the success rate on the actual adoption and cost cutting and actually fintech enable it, if I want to call it AI enable it, fintech enable it, is how we drive that process forward. It's not just the technology, it's how we drive the process forward. The technology could potentially be the disruptor, but it's again the change management, the processes in place, and how people embrace it is going to ultimately drive the ROI. Technology is the easy part, I think. It's the other part that's challenging.
Some of the governance.
Absolutely.
Is so hard.
Absolutely.
And so important.
Yeah.
Question? Did
Yeah.
you have a question?
I was just gonna say, I mean, like you said, there's where you can get training online, but are there any firms that you're seeing that are helping companies do this that have already kind of figured out the agentic piece that could jumpstart?
In terms of the actual implementation or the learning of what to do?
The actual implementation of agents.
Of agents. There are plenty of resources out there. If I'm happy to.
So she's saying, have you, it'd be for PKF Carnegie, do you have clients that have already, to rephrase your question, but clients that have already implemented what you described
Yes.
here with the agents?
Yes.
Because you'd be mid-tier. I mean, PKF supports a lot of, you have a big governmental
Yes.
practice. I don't think, like I know you.
No, not the
government.
the
towns have implemented agentic AI yet.
Well, the governments, we stay far away.
You have a lot of audits of the government.
We don't want to do that. We don't. I personally don't advise any government offices. No, but the clients are definitely looking forward to implementations and advice and where to go, what to do. So we do that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think you risk your clients. If you're layering them in, if you're not doing, Coursera, so pitch for them, and you're layering it in on these horizontal models, right? The Claudes, the ChatGPTs, if they tweak their models like they did a year and a half ago and it wrecks a lot of the agents you created, do you have clients come to you with any risk of that? Like, hey, you just spent all this time building out these agents, helping your month close, getting it faster, all the stuff you have in there, and then, Anthropic decides they want to change their code and all their agents are shot the next day. Is that a risk for any of your clients right now?
Not really. I think if you look at the foundational models and the technology behind foundational models, it's been much stronger than what it was a few years ago. And if you implement the right, I would say, ontology, the firm ontology, and make sure, again, that's where the knowledge graph and the memory, the short-term memory and the long-term memory that the agents run off, and how you govern that is done right, then it's not going to be a problem. Yeah. I guess we're going on a nice discussion here.
Yeah.
So
No, I'm off the deck.
We're
done.
We're done.
Are you coming to the game today?
No, I'm not going. I'm not coming to the game.
All right.
All right, any other questions, I think, for Suma? In particular? All right, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate that.